Hello and welcome to Storytime with Dirt. I'm Dirtspawn. This is part 3 of the Dirtspawn trilogy. This time well, I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen because then I'll just ruin it. Yeah, let's get started. Please bear with me as I make mistakes. I'm not perfect, so, do enjoy. Dirtspawn's Woe by Dirtspawn. Then tell me what's wrong with me. Come on, say it, shouted Dirtspawn. Fine. Mortelica paused for a moment and thought. I already told you some of the things that bothered me. Not giving him a straight answer made him furious. Tushk and Tika were out of the hideout on a date, and the two liches were having this argument. He picked up the table and threw it across the room. The four had taken Puzad's money and bought a small cottage or mansion in the Frall's Wood. It was big enough for the four of them. The table's legs broke. The two liches stared at each other and went to their separate rooms. After Tushk and Tika, 9 months pregnant with Tushk's child, came in with some orchids, the pregnant Tika came upstairs to Dirtspawn's room and sat down beside him. He had an angry expression on his face. She laid her hand on his shoulder. Did you and Mortelica start talking again? She asked him. We had an argument. That must be why the table is on its side with broken legs. Are you going to be okay? Where is she, by the way? I don't care. I'm a lich. I don't feel emotion. You know that. I think you're angry, Dirtspawn. It's been a year and you two have had problems for a couple months. Tell me what's wrong. You can trust me. I'm your friend. She won't give me a straight answer and her communication skills are terrible. She hides her true feelings from me, it seems, until now. She said she loved me, and now she says her love for me is leaving her. Maybe she is just really bad with words, or maybe she doesn't belong in this house. Where is she now? In her room hiding? No, she is not here. She went to the graveyard for some fresh air, she said to the lich. Dirtspawn's green sunken face turned to the northerner, and she smiled and said, Come, let's go find her. The undead man took her hand and they went to the graveyard beside the house. She wasn't there either. I don't know any of these people. Maybe one of them will be a suitable partner. Dirtspawn said jokingly, but Tika didn't catch the joke. You don't need a partner to be happy. Remember what the Creator said as Pulis wrote in the Holy Scrolls so long ago. Needeth not one a partner, but only me, for you will find joy in my strength. Don't you still believe in the Creator? Look what I am, woman. Smell my skin. Look in my eyes. The Creator left me a while ago. I am nothing but anger. It's all I have of my humanity. Left of my humanity, said Dirtspawn. You're angry now, but you'll feel better, I'm sure. Come on, give me a hug. Tika opened her arms wide, and the lich and the northerner embraced each other. Her orc husband was glad to see Dirtspawn being affectionate. He had felt nothing but anger toward Tika himself and Dirtspawn's beloved Mortelica. Dirtspawn held his hands up to her neck and leaned back, placing his thumb on her chin. The two friends smiled at each other, then Dirtspawn broke Tika's neck, as her and her child fell to the ground. Tush came out with his 2 axes out. He roared at Dirtspawn and shouted, Why have you broken my loyalty by destroying my family and my legacy? But why? Dirtspawn killed her because he wanted to see how much humanity he had left, if he could actually do it. I wanted to see if I could feel something. Nothing. You're next, orc. Dirtspawn rushed in at Tush and broke through his sternum, ripping out his heart. I'm sorry, friend. Serve the Creator in his halls. We will never see each other again. Dirtspawn ate Tushk and buried Tika, then tracked Mortelica to the nearest town. It was a rainy night and he was wearing his own attire, the robe with the hood, posing as a beggar, but not actually begging. He was in fact one of the richest people in town. The stores were about to close. The bakery. She had always loved pastries. The bell rang as he entered. The smell of bread and pastries masked his rotting stench. "Can I help you?" Dirtspawn took off his hood and revealed his lich face. "Yes, I am a lich, but I do not wish to harm you. I am looking for someone of my kind, a female, blue frayed dress, and a dark curly hair, sickly skin like mine. Have you seen her?" "I'm sorry, but you'll have to leave, ghoul. I don't deal with the undead. In the name of the Almighty Creator, get out!" shouted the baker. "Fine, I will go. But if you value your life, you won't do that again, because I will cut out your tongue from your skull." And he left the store and searched the floral shop, the inn, the leatherworker, the blacksmith, and the candlestick maker. And then he smelled something familiar. Sage. That's her. He looked behind him, and the smell passed him as he saw a womanly figure in a robe. "Mortelica! Watch it, creep!" It was just a witch. Witches smell like sage, too. "Excuse me, witch. I need to ask you a question," he said. "Oh?" The witch looked around and seemed afraid. "On second thought, could you walk me to my house?" "Why?" asked Dirtspawn. "You see that man with the sword? I think he's trying to kill me. He's a creator zealot, an assassin," she said. "Ugh. All right, let's hurry," said Dirtspawn. Once in her house, she lit 3 small candles and took off her robe. Dirtspawn took his off, and she said to her surprise, "You're a ghoul." "You're the second person that has called me that tonight, and I don't much appreciate it. I will kill you, witch. I have other ways of obtaining information. I'm sorry, it's just liches are so rare. I've never met one before." She had a long bob haircut. She wore the Dreadnought war paint, the black lips and eye makeup on white foundation. She had thick thighs and full breasts that partially exposed themselves from the witch's dress she was wearing. It had a slit at her legs on either side up to her hips. The dress wrapped around her waist, and the cloth sunk down her chest and down her shoulders. It was a small townhouse, and in the room they were in a sage hung from the ceiling, and dark books littered the table. There was a skull with a candle melted on it. There was a ritual circle on the far end of the room. There was a demon in the circle. Dirtspawn could tell. He was not afraid. The Creator allowed him to get this far, and he would not bother casting it out, because 1. He didn't have the tongue anymore, he was undead, and 2. It was in a circle. It could not escape unless the ink edge was smeared. Dirtspawn described Mortelica to the witch. "No, sorry, dear. I can come with you, though. I would really like to get out of this town, but only if I could have your body for one night." She smiled deviously. The satyr demon on the far side whispered, "Yes, yes, in with her." "Silence, demon! I will haul your ass back to the crag, and you, witch, yours along with it. I am no mortal. I do not desire that. Whatever it is you are offering, I'd rather leave the assassins to kill you." The witch looked in fear at him. "Wash that paint off your face, woman. Fucking idiot, targeting yourself like that. Watch your language, lich. Be respectful. I stopped caring about respect a long time ago. What's your name?" "Marianne. And yours?" "Dirtspawn." "Ah, so, Dirtspawn, you don't know your real name. Maybe we can find that out for you, too." "Your idle promises do not impress me," he said, pointing a green finger at her. "Now get sleep, or I will release the satyr and have it take you to the crag of torment." "That's not a fitting punishment, Dirtspawn, but I'll try. Maybe I want to see you suffer." The witch took a sleep potion and drifted off into dreamland. "Let me out," whispered the satyr. "No. Please. I've been stuck in this circle for weeks. She tortures me." "You're lying. Even if you weren't, I don't care," said Dirtspawn. "Let me out, Dirtspawn. If you do, I will tell you my name. One more word out of you, and I will torture you myself." The satyr laughed. "And what makes you think you know how, lich?" asked the satyr demon. Dirtspawn turned his gaze to the demon, and the demon felt a little afraid. "I like to read, and I'm sure there is a book here that will tell me how. Dirtspawn reverted his gaze. Now shut up. He closed his eyes and waited until morning. He did not sleep, but closing his eyes felt good to him. Marianne came downstairs wearing a Dread Knight Witch's war attire, which was black and far too revealing, to say the least. Made up of black leather, iron spikes, and raven feathers. She grabbed a dagger and her staff, which had skulls with the Creator's cross carved on the foreheads. She wore black lipstick and a lot of eyeshadow on her face. Where are you going? Not leaving me here to suffer loneliness and boredom? Shouted the demon. Marianne scowled at the satyr and said, Suffer more, filthy satyr. Dirtspawn, are you ready? She was about to head out the front door. I wouldn't. He's out there, said Dirtspawn. He opened his eyes and she halted. What do we do? We face him. But first we must lead him out of town, or kill him. I go out first, and as I distract him, you run east. Excuse me. Dirtspawn had planned to grapple with the assassin for a while, and have him chase Marianne out into the wilderness. He and she walked out as planned, and the assassin, clad in dark leather and a blue robe with the Creator's cross on it, drew his longsword and grasping it with both hands. He was silent and ran toward the lich and the witch with speed and grace, striking as the toad's tongue strikes the fly. Dirtspawn had disarmed him, and as soon as he attempted to strike, and threw a powerful uppercut to the Creator's side, he would have broken ribs, but the thick leather protected the assassin. By this time Marianne had already fled. Dirtspawn threw the assassin 50 yards. He was not wearing his robe. He wore his blue tunic that Mortelica had given him for his undeath day, the birthday of the undead, to which she had the same day. Dirtspawn walked up to the assassin, who struggled to get up, and ripped out his throat and ate it. Then followed Marianne down the road. He looked around. That was too easy, he thought. Marianne was already out of town. He could sense it, but something was wrong. He used supernatural speed to hunt down his new friend. He caught up with her on the highway, and she was fighting a female assassin, a dark elf wearing the same robes as the other. She hurled a fireball, and she leapt over it with finesse. Dirtspawn would have let Marianne take it, but there was no time. She screamed an ungodly sound, deep and bellowing, and the assassin bled from every orifice of her head. She fell to the ground, and Marianne leaned down and put her hand to the dark elf girl's mouth and burned her head alive from the inside out. The witch laughed as the girl swallowed flames, which also came out of her eyes and nose until it was a disgusting burnt head. Nothing remained but a charred skull. Try not to overdo it next time, girl. We have to go now. Dirtspawn picked her up and ran to a Dread Knight settlement as she told him to go. As they went in, Marianne did not seem welcome. What the hell are we doing here, witch? She looked at him in shame and she said, Just keep walking. A berserker came up to them and told them, Get out of here, woman! You don't deserve the title of Dread Knight. I will kill you and your ghoul friend. I'm a lich, Dread Knight. I will kill you before you can lay a hand on her. The berserker screamed his war cry and raised his massive axe. Dirtspawn appeared behind the towering man who had a spider tattoo on his back and ripped out his spine. Marianne vomited. Many of the surrounding Dread Knights laughed at her reaction, but they did not care their berserker was dead. Only the berserker's lover, who tried to kill Dirtspawn, but he bit a chunk out of her inner thigh and she bled to death. They walked into the mystic's tent, and he was kissing on male slaves as they touched each other inappropriately. Why do you disturb me? He turned to the slave and strictly said, Get out. What do you two want? He asked angrily. I'm looking for someone, and this little shrew led me here. Show me what I seek, or I will kill you. I care not. I will find her one way or another. Yes, certainly. The mystic got out a palantir and asked, "Do you have anything of hers?" Dirtspawn took off his tunic and gave it to him. "This is hers. It's from her. Now, do your creator this is hers? It's from her. Now do your creator damn job and tell me where to find her," said Dirtspawn. "Payment?" asked the mystic foolishly. "Your life," said the lich. "Of course. Give me your hand." Dirtspawn gave the mystic his hand, and the mystic starts humming a monotone. Mortelica. She is talking to someone. She saith, "I need you," but that's all I can make out. Ah, she has a note. "Dirtspawn," it has on it. "You are he?" "Yes." "Keep going." She's talking to a gravekeeper in Oakwater to the northwest. "Thanks, Mystic. By the way, you're shit at your job and you're a shit Dread Knight. Grow some balls," advised Dirtspawn as he left. Marianne followed him and asked, "Where do I go?" "Wherever you want to. You helped me, so thanks, I guess. Maybe we'll see each other again, but I hopefully doubt it." Dirtspawn was about to leave and said, "Ah, right, and Creator bless you," though she meant it as a joke, just to insult her. Though he meant it as a joke, just to insult her. Then left with a mighty leap into the air, heading northwest. He crossed the two streams and went to the Oakwater graveyard. It was the 21st hour and the moon was full. "I'm not prey, so come out." A wolf man came out from behind a tree. "Why are you here, lich?" he growled. "I seek Mortelica," stated Dirtspawn. The wolfman reached into his back pocket and handed him a note. "You're the gatekeeper." Dirtspawn opened it. It said, "Here I slumber amongst the lumber. If you find me, will I rest?" "What is this, keeper? A damn riddle? I am bad at riddles." The angry Dirtspawn tore up the note and threw it on the ground and spit a chunk of phlegm on it. Then he saw the trees. The wolfman ran on all fours out into the graveyard to hunt and do his normal thing, as werewolves often do. Dirtspawn went into the trees and sought out a grave and found 4 graves, one smashed to pieces and one only partly. It said Elica. There was a shovel that he used that to dig. A coffin. She was inside. As still as a stone, her soul rested. You see, when liches or ghouls go back to their graves willingly, they give up lichdom or ghouldom, and then they stay dead. Dirtspawn screamed, and the trees shook with his fury. Alas, he cried, and lay in the casket with his love that was his love no more. Up came a sad-looking witch, a familiar face. "I'm sorry, Dirtspawn. I heard your cry from a mile away." "She killed herself because of me," he sobbed. "I don't know what to say. Come, let's get your bones warm. It's freezing out here," she said in a melancholy tone. "Okay," he said, still crying. "I want to go home." "That's where we are going. You lead the way." They made it to the grand cottage by morning, and when Marianne saw the half-eaten orc, she asked, "What happened here?" "Me," he said. Then he started to dig the grave of Tika and recovered her body. "Raise her." "But I've never—" "Raise her!" he commanded. Marianne did her best, and Tika became a ghoul, but a weak one. She looked at Dirtspawn and then at Tushk, and screamed bloody murder. She beat Dirtspawn and he held her close. Then she started to give birth to a half-orc child. It was dead. "Tika, I'm so sorry. I was so angry, but now I have closure. Mortelica is gone as well. She's not coming back." Marianne held Tika as she wept bitterly, her skin a blank white and eyes bloodshot. She let loose many insulting names at Dirtspawn. but he just told Marianne, "Go home. She will be my companion." For 70 years they lived a quiet life until they had enough. Had enough. Dirtspawn finally told Tika the secret of an undead's death, which was to go back to their grave and rest until the Almighty comes. Marianne visited them often to make sure they were alright until she was old and feeble, and that demon was cast into the crag as soon as Marianne got back, because now she is a zealot creatorist and has rejected the ways of Dread Knights. Tika still became angry with Dirtspawn, but she remembered forgiveness. Forgive not 7 times, but 70 times 7. So saith the Holy Scriptures. Alright, that was the end of the trilogy. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy future stories to come. I have quite a few, so maybe I'll record every week. I don't know. We'll see. But you guys have a good one, and I'll talk to you later.